I've been in and out of Asia for the last 20 years, so decided that I wanted to look at something that was in China. First came to mind was women with bound feet. And I asked a good friend of mine whether she knew of anybody that was still alive, and everyone just said no. And then her driver actually turned around and said that his grandmother, Zhang Yongying, had bound feet. She was the first woman I photographed, and when I went to her village, I found that there was 3 other women there who had bound feet.
And what did these women have to endure?
When the foot binding was actually done to the young girl, the small feet would actually go underneath the sole of the foot and the large toe would point out. It would then be bound in 2 directions so that the heel came closer to the toes, creating kind of triangle arch that made the rest of the middle of the foot go upwards towards the ankle, within the heel.
Now, foot binding was banned in China over 100 years ago, so how is it that these women, now in their 80s or 90s, had to endure this practice?
So it continued on after the 1911 ban, more in rural areas than it did in cities. Generally, they met their husbands through a matchmaker, and it would be the mother-in-laws who insisted that they also had bound feet. A woman with bound feet would be considered a good wife because she would be subservient and she would also not complain, as shown by having her feet bound and surviving or living a life with bound feet.
You documented and photographed in total 50 women. Yeah. How did you get them to open up to you, to share their stories, and also to take off their tiny shoes and show you their lotus feet?
It has progressed, this project, over the last 8 years. The first woman, as I mentioned, Zhang Yongying, was more than happy to show me her feet, but her neighbors did not want to. I then had a book published in 2006. When I went back to the village, the ladies said, I want to be in the next book. So they were persuaded in a way that they realized I wasn't being like a typical tourist or Westerner coming in trying to exploit them, that I was trying to celebrate their lives and show people what they actually had gone through and what their lives were, the last women with bound feet.
And a final question for you. When I look at these photographs, I see that they're beautifully composed, they're stunning, but at the end of the day, they're portraits of women who, as young girls, were forced to mutilate themselves for social status. What's your personal feeling when you look at these photographs?
I think they're rather beautiful. I hope that that is what I project in them, that these women have been through a lot. They've been through famine, they've been through the Cultural Revolution, they've been through foot binding. They're not rich, they are poor, peasant farmers. I want to show another side of them. I want to be able to celebrate them, and generations to come to actually look beyond the feet and see these women. Majority of the books that are about bound feet are on the beautifully embroidered shoes, or the academic side, the erotica of foot binding. I want to show the human side.